I am ready to rock, but not on the chair.
No, we're not rocking out on the chair because we're going to save that for stage.
Yeah.
But Adam Lambert is with me. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm pretty sure you don't know, but we got history.
We do?
Because I was living in the States for a bit, and you were on American Idol. I was in front of the TV, and I was like, I saw you audition, obviously, and I was like, I'm rooting for this guy. That's my guy. And you made it to the finals, and I'm so glad you did. And it's so great to see the journey you made with your art.
Thank you.
You released 3 solo records, and now you got your new EP out.
Yeah.
Which is called Velvet Side A. And thinking about the music that I listened to on Velvet Side A, I was like, this has got a different groove. It's got a bit of different energy to me compared to what you did before. And I think it started out with New Eyes. Would you agree? Yeah,
I mean, that was kind of the song that kicked it all off. I just felt like doing something different. I think repeating yourself when you're a creative person just gets boring. I didn't want to be bored. I wanted to explore something new and challenge myself. And in a way, it's like it's different and it's new for me compared to what I've done. But in a way, it's actually the original sort of music that I heard growing up. So it's very inspired by my mom and dad's record collection. And that music is such a part of my DNA. It's like what I heard is like, it was the first thing I heard that I knew to be popular music.
Back to the roots, so to say.
In a way, yeah.
I also read that you said that this is what made you be a musician at all, right? The music that you heard growing up.
I think so. Maybe I didn't even realize it at the time, but I think it definitely like informed me. Like it like shaped my ear, you know?
What's so special to you about the music from those decades?
I don't know. There's something magical about the late 70s in particular. It's like there was such a cross-section of different genres, you know? There was soul music and rock music and funk music and disco music. Like it was all sort of melding together. There was a lot of music that was a little of all of it. And I just think it's really special. And it was a time when people were really into music. Music was super important, and it was a very powerful medium. It still is. But in the 70s, it was big business. It was sort of identity. People nowadays identify with different things. They identify, there's all these labels, there's things that they identify with. But I think back then, it's like the type of music you listened to was your identity. So there's something kind of interesting about that. It had a different sort of weight. And I don't know. I think there was a lot of integrity in it as well. Like people were like writing really good songs. Look at like the piano stuff, like Elton John, and look at like Joni Mitchell. Like there's these like prolific songwriters from that era. Yeah,
I totally agree. And you also said that with Velvet, you just followed your instinct, right? Mm-hmm. Was there ever a time when you thought that you had to suppress that instinct?
I don't know if I would say like suppress it, but I definitely in other moments in my career probably was looking outside of myself a little bit more. You know, I was looking, okay, what everybody else is doing? What's trendy? What's working? What's becoming a hit? Oh, that's the style. Okay, I'll try that. And it was fun, and it was, it was a good exercise. But I think with this project, I've been more like I've tuned more of what's going on outside out, and I've gone more inside into my own instinct, like what do I like? At the end of the day, these are my songs. I'm going to be on stage performing them for fans. I'm going to be performing these songs for a while. I want these songs to just be like exactly what I want to do. No compromises. And I think you can hear that while you're listening to that EP. Superpower is the first track on the record and the first single. And what I perceive to be a song about self-expression, empowerment, just being your unique self. Can you elaborate a bit on the message of the song? I mean, you hit the nail on the head. That's definitely it. I wanted to write something that made people feel confident and empowered and sort of rebellious, I think we're living in a time where there's a lot of division, there's a lot of, there's a divide with generations, with the young and the old, there's cultural divides, there's all this new mainstream conversation about sexuality and gender identity, and there's just all these things going on. And I think a lot of people very easily are made to feel like they're not allowed, or they're not important, or they're not valid, or their experience is wrong. I know that that's like a thing that a lot of people experience, no matter who you are. So I thought the song should speak to that. But it's also like done with like totally like fun disco funk kind of groove. It makes you want to dance. It makes you want to feel fabulous and sassy, and it doesn't take itself too seriously.
Yeah. But serious question nonetheless, because you're singing about being put in a box. Have you ever experienced that people want to make you put in a box?
I think so. I mean, and again, like I wrote this definitely from my own point of view, but also like I took into account like how so many people feel. You know, I wanted it to feel relatable, and you know, everything about my fans that I've read online over the last 10 years, like the one underlying common thing that we have together is that we're all outsiders. We're all a little bit different. So I've personally felt many different times in my life where I, you know, somebody thought they understood what I was about, or made an assumption about me, or told me that you're too this, you're too that, you should be this. I've definitely been, you know, boxed in or kept out of something before.
Yeah,
for sure.
I can imagine it must be so hard because you're like well known and everyone has an opinion about you, and it's like, okay, well,
and that's the thing is that, like, you know, we know, all of us that look at like social media, you can choose to buy into those other opinions, or you can tune them out and be like, I'm just going to do me. It's hard. It's not easy. I mess up all the time. I'm not perfect at it yet either. I'm still working on it. But I think this whole project was sort of an exercise in tuning out some of the excess influences, the outside voices, and following my own path and building my own path with these songs.
Listening to your inner
voice. Yeah, for sure.
Now, if you morphed into a comic character and you could choose your superpower, what would it be? I'd
want like two superpowers. You know, some superheroes can do more than one thing.
You can get two. That's all right.
Like I would totally want to fly, because that would be really fun. And I would also want mind control, but only used for good. Like I'd want to be able to like help people. I'd want to be able to like, if there was somebody like an evil villain somewhere, I would want to be able to like make him, you know, stop doing what he was doing. Or if I saw that a community of people were, you know, fighting with each other, I'd want to be able to like create peace, you know? Just calming everybody down.
Just think of butterflies all the time. No, there's another song on your... Well, there's more than one song, obviously. But the second song on your EP, Stranger You Are, I want to cite some of the lyrics, because it says, because the stranger you are, they want to keep you locked in the dark. Said the stranger you are, they're going to try to tear you apart. And I think that's what we just touched on already. But... it made me think of what you also just mentioned, that so many people are still deemed as not normal or whatever. And I feel like you're doing so much for the LGBTQ plus community, and just speaking up about just be yourself when you're good like that. And
I wanted to write some anthems. That was definitely part of this whole thing.
How do you perceive society in regards to these topics nowadays?
It's kind of what I was saying. I mean, I think that we are in a time where there's a lot of new ideas. There's a lot of new concepts that people are adopting and exploring. And there's always going to be people that don't get it, or that are scared, or, you know, that disagree. And, you know, look, I think everyone's entitled to their own personal belief system, but where I think it gets really dangerous and really sad is when people's personal belief systems are imposed on other people in legal ways. That's where it's like, wait a minute, we have to have a line where you can feel however you want to feel, but when you're starting to like vote for something to be like a legislation or a rule or a law, and it's a discrimination against a group of people, like that's not okay. There needs to be a separation. We need to have a little more respect for each other's rights, you know, and that's what equality is all about.
Totally.
Yeah.
Just be nice to each other.
It's sort of like treat people how you would want to be treated. That's the issue. And I think there's a lot of groups in the world that have a really hard time putting themselves in other people's shoes. There's no empathy. And maybe that's my superhero, is just creating empathy for a minute. Like you can touch somebody and, oh, you're feeling what they're feeling now.
Yeah, because I feel like our societies just get to the individual, and everyone is just thinking about themselves, not caring about the community so much anymore.
Yeah.
And if you turned it around and if you behaved like that with someone who is behaving wrongly,
Yeah.
yeah, that would probably be different. Anyway, Closer to You, piano ballad, which to me was like, there's so much longing in this song.
Oh, thank you.
Can you share a bit about that song?
Yeah, I mean, it's, I wrote this a couple years ago, and I was at a point where I was feeling thankful for all the like opportunities that I had in my career. For example, like I'm very lucky. I've worked really hard. I have accomplished things, and I've earned things. I have material possessions and a house, and all of that stuff. It's great. It's exciting, but when you don't have someone to share that with, when you don't have the intimacy in your life, a partner, like a true love, what is it worth it? What does it mean? It means nothing. So I think that's what the song's really about. Like, and it's me sort of saying, I'm trying to figure this out. And look, if I meet whoever you are out there one day, I'll toss all this stuff out the window just to be with you. It's a very dramatic statement, of course, because I don't know if I would sink my house underwater and burn myself. I don't think I would do all those dramatic things, but the sentiment is there that like I would give up and sacrifice things in order to have that feeling. It'd be great.
Yeah, you don't have to burn your house, but
yeah.
I get the message because it's way more valuable to have someone by your side than to live in a big house.
And I guess that's what it is. It's priorities. It's what really matters in life. And I think the older I get, and the more I travel and the more I experience, the more I recognize that. The
wisdom creeping in
somewhere, some creeping into something.
So this part of this EP is called Velvet Side A, so there has to be a side B.
There is a side B coming, yes.
What was your motivation to release the songs like that?
I feel like there's sort of like no rules anymore. It's like the way that people are listening to music. It's like everything's so instant and it's streaming and it's all out now. And I was over the past 10 years, the albums that I've put out, it's like you get to like single number 2 and then the album comes out and it's all over. The whole promotion is over, the whole performing on TV and shit. It all ends beside a tour. So I don't know. I just kind of wanted to keep it going. I wanted to extend the whole experience for myself and for the fans. It's like when you go to like a nice restaurant, they don't just like put everything on one plate at one time. Like that's not the joy of it. The joy is that you get a first course, an appetizer, and a first course, and a second course, and dessert. And I like that. I wanted it to feel like a good meal.
Some suspense also.
Yeah.
Right? What will side B be like? Can you share something about that already?
Yeah, I mean, side B, it's a very cohesive project. After side B comes out, it will be all one album. I mean, that'll be like something that's available. Velvet, full stop. That'll be the album. So it's a cohesive sound. There's songs that fit the same mood. But there's different vibes still. Like there's it all fits together, but there's some new colors on side B. There's a song, I can tell you right now, I can give you two things. There's a song called Velvet, and there's a song called Love Don't. And those are your 2 morsels of the day.
Okay, thank you. We're looking forward to side B.
Yeah.
Thinking about your career, I know you started out with musical theater, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever thought of creating your own piece?
I have thought about that before, yeah. I mean, it's something that I've kind of been like, haven't really gotten started on it yet, but it's something that I keep like kind of like rolling around in my head, like, that'd be cool. And it's something that I do want to start working on relatively soon because they take a long time to kind of get going. So yeah, I would like to do that someday.
Do you have any ideas on what kind of direction you would like to go in, or just brainstorming?
Yeah, a few.
Yeah, okay.
I can't share yet.
Because we're going to do our own musical theater then. Just you're also playing at the Avicii tribute concert in December, right? Can you let us in on what's going to happen at that concert? Yeah,
I mean, I worked on a song with Avicii and Nile Rodgers actually called Lay Me Down. And it was on the big album that Wake Me Up was on. And it's funny because a lot of people didn't know that was me because our names weren't like next to all the songs. So to create a little mystery. And so, yeah, I think it'll be really special to go and celebrate the music of Tim Avicii. He was actually a really brilliant musician and a composer, and he played piano beautifully. And it's very sad what went down for him. And I think that this concert will be a beautiful sort of tribute to him and a way to raise awareness for mental health. Obviously that was something that he was battling. And I think it'll be a really special evening. I'm excited.
Yeah, such an important topic.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with what you were saying about him, because I feel like he was way more than just a DJ, right?
Yeah, he really was.
What was your relationship to him like?
I didn't know him very well. I only worked with him for a couple days. But he was very, very kind, a bit soft-spoken, but really like open-minded, open energy, very like eager to like create, And so Niall and myself and him just sat down and we're creating music, and it was just such a peaceful kind of pure experience. And Nile Rodgers too is like such a legend. So to work with him in the room with Avicii, it was like, Niall's list of major iconic songs is mind-blowing. So it was really cool.
Talented people allowed only. So there's this other band that you're working with apart from your solo career.
Who could that be?
I don't know. I just heard something through the grapevine. So you're working with Queen also.
Yes.
You're the lead singer for them now. I was wondering, what was it like for you when you first started out working with them? Did you feel a lot of pressure?
In the beginning, yeah, I was definitely nervous because I was like, well, what are the fans going to think? And what are the band going to think? And am I even up to it? Am I going to be able to pull this off? I had a lot of doubts in the very beginning. But of course I said yes, because why would I pass up that opportunity? And can you imagine if I had sung a different song on American Idol? I don't know if any of this would have happened.
This is crazy, right?
Yeah.
Thinking about,
that was where the seed was planted.
Had I not sung that song, right? Yeah. It's all about the choices you make.
It's true. Domino effect.
Totally. So how do you go about creating the performance? Do they give you space to just do your own thing? Or is it like, what's your motivation while performing with them? Do you feel like you have to keep Freddie alive in a way?
Yeah. It is a balance, because in one way it's like, I don't want to imitate him, or because that would be like disrespectful to the band and to his memory and to the fans. But on the other hand, it's like, I also want to stay within the spirit of how it was intended to be performed, So I don't veer too far away from the original either. But it's a balancing act. And it took a couple years to kind of figure out. And I look at it as, like you said, like keeping Freddie's spirit alive 100%. We have video of Freddie on stage in a couple moments, and his voice, you hear his voice sometimes. And, it sounds kind of pretentious, but it's like, I do think in a way it's like I'm getting to be of service. Like Brian and Roger are amazing musicians, and they want to go and play these songs live. And obviously they need a singer. And obviously Freddie is no longer with us. So I got a great gig, and I'm really honored and lucky to be doing that. And I always try to remind the audience, there's no replacing Freddie. I'm not a replacement. I'm a guest, and I'm a collaborator.
That sounds beautiful. Now, who's the biggest perfectionist in the band?
Brian.
Wow.
Yeah. Although I'm a perfectionist too, so like I think we both are in our own ways.
You're battling each other. How does that show?
It's great. He really cares. He's really invested. He puts so much thought into everything, and it's beautiful. He never gets too comfortable. He never gets complacent. That's like a bad word. And Roger too. They both are constantly, we're always trying to like make the show better. We think about what happened at the last show, and we go, maybe we should try this. And we're always trying to stay our very best, which is great. And it keeps it fresh.
Yeah, still making progress, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a personal favorite? Is there a song that you feel most connected to?
I love them all. I really do. It kind of depends on the mood, of the day, because they're all so different. I mean, I love Killer Queen because it's silly and campy. I love Bites the Dust because it's aggressive. I love there's like a run of different emotions. Somebody to Love. I've related to that at so many points in my life. Yeah, I love them all.
And what's the most fun Queen song to perform for you?
It's kind of the same thing. It's like depends on the day. I mean, Killer Queen, the way we do it, I really amp up the comedy. Freddie had a brilliant sense of humor. There was moments on stage where, of course, he was really dramatic and kind of took everything seriously, but he was also really funny. And if you watch like live video of him, he's always kind of messing around, and he would wear, most of what he wore was a joke. Like he clearly had a sense of humor about what he was wearing. I try to take that into account and realize that that's part of the spirit of the band is taking the piss out of yourself and sort of like not taking yourself too seriously. So when I sing Killer Queen, that's sort of the most camp moment. And also we've been doing a bicycle race, which is also just really ridiculous. It's a ridiculous song. They knew that when they wrote it. I think that's something that sort of can get lost in today's age because everything is sort of written down and texted and all that. So you kind of lose context sometimes. But sarcasm and camp and wit, that's a big part of Queen. So I try to keep that alive when I perform with them.
Great. Do you also play with outfits?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love my outfits. Yeah, I love clothes.
You're also going on tour next year.
Yep.
In Germany, you got 3 dates, and I have kind of a hard time asking you because I want the show to be a surprise, but I'm still asking, like, what can people look forward to?
Well, there's this thing called YouTube, and actually you can probably watch the whole show from North America, which is essentially going to be pretty much the same show, but I'm sure we'll add some new things. I will definitely... Did I just turn this off? Did I? No, just clicked. I will definitely try to add some new costumes. That's my thing. Okay. So I'm not going to repeat everything, but yeah, it is all one tour. It's already up and running. So if you don't want it to be spoiled, don't go to YouTube. Don't look it up.
Not going to do it, but we'll get excited about your outfits then.
Yeah.
And I have to ask you another thing, because Brian May spurred some speculation about a Queen record being made, a new one, and Roger...
I don't think he's making a Queen record. I think he's making something... What did Roger say? Wait, maybe I'm wrong.
I think he like there is some speculation going around if there is going to be another Queen record, if that's if I got it correctly.
That's news to me.
Okay.
I thought that what I heard was that they were working on remastering some stuff. Or like releasing like outtakes or something. I think they're working on like a project of like previously unreleased material of the songs that we already know. And that's the thing that's so cool is that they have so much saved and archived. They have all these recording sessions and video and all this stuff. It's very interesting. It's really cool. So
still more to come. Could you imagine ever doing a record with them? Because I think you said before that Queen is Freddie Mercury. And
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we would call it Queen if we did that, because that just doesn't, I don't know. I'm not sure. I think it's one of those things where it's like if the right song came up and it was the right opportunity and for the right reasons, maybe we would look at it. It just hasn't seemed to have come up. And I do think that what we do as a unit is a live experience. Like, I think that's what it is. That's the beauty of it. Like, the songs were written by them. I'm a guest there to sing them. And I have my own career as a songwriter as well. That's over here. And they're two separate things,
Two great things that you can juggle,
I'm
right?
like, I'm spoiled for choice, and that's, I've always said, it's like, neither one of them is a side project. They're like side by side, they both matter equally to me, and they're both really satisfying, for different reasons.
Now that you just talked about your solo career or juggling those two things, Now, at the stage of your life that you're in right now, looking back, what would you tell your past self just starting out now?
I would say relax. It's all going to work out really well. And I think I would tell myself, like, enjoy the moment. Because, and I think when we're young, we all kind of tend to, like, be too obsessed with the future and what's next. And I think as I've gotten older, I've tried to learn a little bit more about being present. And so I would try to encourage myself, like, just enjoy it be present, enjoy what's happening right now. I think I would tell my younger self, like, you're never going to be this skinny ever again. This is the best your body is ever going to look. Love it. Own it.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Sometimes
do you know what I mean? Like,
right?
You never think that when you're like, I remember just being young and like being really hard on myself. But if I had known then that was the best I was ever going to look physically,
oh, shush.
I would have enjoyed it more,
Yeah, just don't be so hard on yourself, basically, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a terrible habit. I'm very self-critical, but it's a double-edged sword because on one hand, it keeps me humble. It keeps me working hard. It keeps me trying to always do better. And obviously, on the other hand, it can be a real heavy weight to carry around.
No, I hear you. I can relate. So we're drawing to a close with like 2019, I feel.
I know, we're like it's like the end of the year. It's the end of the decade.
It's like Thursday, it's going to be 2 months till Christmas.
Isn't that crazy?
What? What else is happening for you this year?
I don't know if there's any more time for anything else to happen. I think my schedule's pretty booked.
just like
lots of promotion. I'm excited to perform these songs here and there. Some TV things, some performance opportunities. I'm going to do a show in LA. I'm going to do a show in New York, just to kind of get the buzz going. And then hopefully after Side B comes out, in between like the Queen touring schedule, I will definitely be working on putting together my own tour of Velvet. I don't exactly know what that's going to look like yet, but that is the goal.
Don't forget about Germany.
Of course not. I love Germany.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
And good luck with Velvet Side B.
Thank you.